2024 NFL season is right around the corner, and welcome to my AFC West record predictions. We're going to be predicting the record of all the AFC West teams for the 2024 season. Can anyone knock off the Chiefs and be the new kings of the division? Let's find out and let's get into it. At number 4, I have the Denver Broncos finishing with a 6-11 record. There's lots of optimism in Denver. Rookie quarterback 12th overall pick Bo Nix was named the starter recently. The Broncos were 20th in points per game and 26th in yards per game last year. So Bo Nix is really going to have to pick up the slack from the failed Russell Wilson experiment. Denver's defense was not very good either last year. They were 27th and 29th respectively in opponent points per game and yards per game. I do think there's a little bit of upside with Nix. He looked very promising in the preseason, and I'm very curious to see how he will look against first-string defenses. I'm also very curious to see how efficiently he'll run Sean Payton's scheme. The real question for me is their defense and overall roster construction. I just don't think they have enough talent to stack up with the rest of the AFC or AFC West in particular. So that's why I have them finishing last in the division at 6-11. At number 3, this is a big shocker, but I have the Los Angeles Chargers finishing with a record of 8-9. Big regime change in Los Angeles. Head coach Jim Harbaugh is back in the NFL after his long tenure with the University of Michigan. New offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator he brought along, so there's plenty of new faces in Los Angeles. They're definitely going to be a team to watch. They're going to get better as the season progresses. Herbert has a foot issue right now to start the season, but sources say he should be good to go. I think with Greg Roman at OC, you're going to rely heavily on the run as he has done his whole career. We've got new additions like Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins, so they're going to really rely on those two backs, both coming from Baltimore. Defensively, they still have some notable names: Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, Asante Samuel. They're all studs. I'm really interested to see what new defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, who was there at Michigan while Harbaugh was there, can do with the personnel that the Chargers have. What caps the Chargers' ceiling, in my opinion, is their lack of talent on the offensive side of the ball. If teams can stop the run, Herbert's going to struggle to get the best out of the likes of Quentin Johnston and Ladd McConkey. I think if Ladd McConkey is your number one receiver, you're definitely in trouble. He's a rookie. I'm not saying he won't be good, but if he's your wide receiver 1 to start out, a second-round rookie, it's probably not a good sign. Edwards and Dobbins aren't really game-changing backs either. So if teams can stop the run, I just don't think the Chargers offense will be any good. I do believe in Harbaugh though. He'll get this thing turned around sooner rather than later. I just don't think it'll be this year. I just don't think the turnaround will happen that fast. At number 2, surprise, surprise, I have the Las Vegas Raiders finishing with a 9-8 record and narrowly missing the playoffs. Antonio Pierce was named the head coach after his promising interim campaign in 2023. History shows that hiring the interim doesn't really work out in the long run, but I do think there's a ton of buy-in in the Raiders locker room to Antonio Pierce's philosophy. Gardner Minshew at the QB1 spot is a definite question mark. I do think he's a slight upgrade over O'Connell with his more mobile upside, but he's a definite question mark. Offensive coordinator Luke Getsy also really struggled in Chicago. He's also a question mark, but I do think the Raiders have way too much talent for this to be a bottom 5 offense. Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Michael Mayer, and newly acquired Brock Bowers in the draft. There's just way too many names, way too much talent for this to be a putrid offense in my opinion. I think we'll be middle of the pack with Minshew and Luke Getsy calling the plays, which should be good enough considering how good this defense is. This defense will be, in my opinion, one of the best Raider defenses in recent memory. You have a certified pass rush with Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, and Malcolm Kuntz. The secondary also has tons of continuity. Trayvon Merrick, Marcus Epps, Nate Hobbs, Jacorian Bennett, Jack Jones have all played so many snaps together at this point. Jack Jones, Marcus Epps, and Jacorian Bennett all in year 2 under Patrick Graham, and the rest in year 3. So I'm looking forward to see this defense fly around. Some people say the secondary is a weak point. I do see it in terms of depth as a weak point, but these guys have had so much experience and so many snaps together. Additionally, linebacker Robert Spillane is coming off a career year. Along with the linebackers as a whole, they had a very good year last year, and they're looking to build off of it this year. The only question I see is the Raiders' ability to stop the run defensively. They were 23rd in rush defense last year, so they don't particularly have the guy to anchor down against the run. It could improve with the addition of Christian Wilkins, so it's definitely something to wait and see. Definitely in week 1, because the Raiders are playing the Chargers, and obviously they have Greg Roman, who loves to run the ball, always been a top 5 rushing offense guy, so it'll be interesting to see that. Overall, I'm excited to see what this 9th ranked overall defense last year can do and build upon this year. The only reason I have the Raiders at 9-8, like it may seem like kind of underwhelming because I've mentioned so many good points, is they have a really tough schedule, especially in the middle of the season. So yeah, the Raiders will finish 9-8, second in the division. And at number 1, the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. It pains me to say this, but the Chiefs got better this offseason with offensive additions Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. And you may be mentioning those guys aren't very good. I'm telling you right now, anything was better than what they had last year. Literally anything. They had Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Kadarius Toney. They all couldn't catch the ball. Literally, the Chiefs struggled with drops all year. And somehow, they still ended up winning the Super Bowl in our own stadium. They did that behind the defense, which is absolutely elite. They did lose L'Jarius Sneed, which is notable, but there's absolutely no reason to believe that the Chiefs won't be a top-flight defense again this year under Steve Spagnuolo. This is a top-of-the-line team and could be the first ever team to three-peat in NFL history. God, that sucks to say, doesn't it? And those are my AFC West predictions. The Chiefs are still on top, but there's some up-and-coming teams down below. Maybe they can get it next year. Comment down below on whether you think I got it right, and comment your predictions down below as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See y'all.